Welcome back. Well, life often gets in the way of fun, so I'm not going to be out shooting today until I get some chores done around here. It's kind of murky. It's really humid today and hot. I'm going to be replacing a broken Rainbird sprinkler head on my irrigation system that I wiped out accidentally with my tractor back a few weeks ago when I was doing some rototilling of the garden adjacent to it. The Rainbird system is a fantastic system. I'm not speaking for Rainbird. I don't receive any compensation from them, but I regard them as the very best out there when it comes to lawn irrigation. They just have a very intelligently engineered system. And it's the reason I picked it is because of the many features that their sprinkler heads have. I mean, the sprinkler head is the heart of the system. You know, there's much to do with it. You know, there's a computer brain that's got a fascinating amount of options that I can control the sprinkling of the yard, you know, the timing of it. I can set up a calendar for when it sprinkles, and I can limit certain circuits and all that stuff. But the actual spray head, everybody has the other stuff, but it's the actual spray head, which is that's the technology that's the heart of it. So let's look at what a Rainbird 5000 sprinkler head is all about. Now, these are really superbly engineered. I mean, fantastic engineering throughout. And yet they can be very, mind-boggling to somebody who just simply receives one of these in the mail to replace a broken one. They end up having to pick up the phone and call the contractor and say, "Can you put this thing in for me? I don't know what to do with it." Well, they'll gladly come out at their hourly rate for a job that only takes them about 15 or 20 seconds tops. I mean, installing this entire thing, once I have a hole opened in the ground, is just a matter of screwing this on to a 3/4 inch iron pipe thread. It's usually a plastic connector down below, and it threads right into it. This particular 5000 comes in two different styles, and that you have to know from the get-go when you're ordering them, because you either have a part circle style or you have a full circle style. A full circle style does exactly what its name implies. The head will just simply keep going around and around and around, spraying always in the same direction. The part circle one will spray from a stop position, go around until it gets to the next stop position, then reverses and goes back the other way until it gets to another stop position. So it has what they call a left stop and a right stop, and we'll talk about adjusting that. One of the main features of this sprinkler head, one of the many features, is that it can be turned on and off. In the very center of this head, there is a screw slot here, and you can turn that. There's a pictogram. It shows on the one side it looks like the international symbol for spray, and the other one looks like an international symbol for don't spray. Well, if you turn that screw head in one direction, you'll hear it stop and come to a click stop. That just shut it off. So if I have a bunch of these heads that I don't wish to have water emitting from for whatever reason, maybe I haven't completed a section of lawn that I'm putting turf down in or something like that, while I have another section that I'm sprinkling, I can shut off any number of heads just by turning that screw. That's a very handy feature. The other feature that is nice with this system is that it has an anti-flood valve. In other words, when this is done spraying and the head drops back down in under spring pressure, it will just simply stop and seal itself, and that prevents any flooding, where basically water just lazily drips out and floods a puddle around the head, which can be very irritating to somebody who's trying to reseed an area, because every time it floods, the seed just washes away. So that flood control feature is extremely nice. These are also made with pressure regulation, so that they can be set up in series, one after another on the same line, without any pressure drop between heads. So in other words, the first, second, third, fourth, whatever number of heads in a row, they all receive exactly the same emitting pressure, and they'll all spray exactly the same distance, or whatever distance you set them for. Now, there are several adjustments to this particular head, and this goes, this is the part circle one, so this has an additional adjustment for that circle dimension. In other words, how many degrees of that arc in a 360 degree circle, how many degrees of that do I wish to encompass? So anything from just a few degrees, I go back and forth, or I can go all the way around almost a full circle and then back again, which is really nice if you're trying to control the spray pattern along your house or along your borderline or whatever. So controlling that arc is simply a matter of going to this screw right here. You'll see this is the side where we got bugs. This is the side where you'll see the arrow that points in the direction of the spray pattern. Behind that, on the other side, you'll see there's a plus and minus symbol, and that determines how far you can adjust that to a greater or lesser arc of circle. And I'll show you how that works as I get farther into it, because I want to show you first of all how you set your left stop, which is essential. On the front of the nozzle, right here, it looks like a key slot, and that's exactly what it is. I just got this stuck. There's a key slot. I really recommend that you get, anybody who has a Rainbird system really needs to have one of these Rainbird tools. This really is key. The entire head is based upon the design of this screwdriver, and you know, if you don't have this screwdriver, life can be a little bit challenging. First of all, in that pictogram that looks like a key slot, simply insert the screwdriver straight down in the same direction and turn it 90 degrees. When you turn it 90 degrees, it's going to lock in. The blades on that screwdriver are going to lock in, and they're going to grasp that head, and then you can pull it straight out. Now, this is tremendous spring pressure. This will reveal the front of the nozzle. That's where you put your spray nozzle. Now, the spray nozzles are based upon gallons per minute. Each of these heads will come with a tree that has various nozzles ranging from, I believe it's 1 gallon per minute all the way up to, I think it's 8 gallons per minute. Is that right? Yes, 1 to 8. And that is typically engineered into your system by the contractor, or you if you've designed it. If you've designed your system, you don't need to be watching this, I'm sure. My system has essentially a 8 gallon per minute recovery rate. I've got a 400-foot deep well that goes into bedrock, and that 8 gallon recovery rate means that if I operate my sprinkler system at maximum efficiency, I can have each circuit running independently at 8 gallons per minute. Now, each of my circuits has 4 sprinkler heads, so each of those 4 sprinkler heads can have 2 gallons per minute, which will give me a total of 8 naturally. And naturally my system has a little bit of residual, so I can still wash clothes in the house. I can still, you know, fill the sink or take a shower or whatever without depleting my system. I've got such a long water column that I really am not going to be using up any water out of 400 foot of 6-inch diameter water column. So to replace a nozzle, I select the gallon per minute size that I need to use, and it's got a top and a bottom. You'll see there's a notch on one side, and there's no notch on the other, and the numbers are oriented up and down also vertically. So this is the top where the notch is. That's the top. That will go in straight underneath that arrow, and it will snap into place, as I'll show you. So I lift this straight up, grasp that firmly. That's a very, very seriously stiff spring, and place it straight in, snap it in all the way, push it in deeply. But on the very front, right above that nozzle, there's a set screw, and I find the slot. I can find that. There we go. Now just turn that down until the screw retains that nozzle. Don't forget to screw that down at least 4 or 5 turns, because otherwise when you turn on your system, that nozzle is going to go across your yard and you'll lose it. If I screw it in any farther, let me see if I can pull that out again and show you. If I screw it in any farther, you'll see the screw up here. That becomes a diverter, and that will now enter the spray pattern. You want to have it down at least that far, but beyond that, then it becomes a diverter, and that will enter the spray pattern to control the distance of your nozzle spray. So if you want to limit your spray to 15 or 20 feet instead of the 32 feet or so that it will spray, that's how you do it. That's your diverter, but it's also essential to retain it. Now, one of the items on that tree is an identifying plug that corresponds to the size gallon per minute nozzle that you've selected. So right directly behind your diverter screw, the set screw that holds it in, there's a little round circle with a cross in it, and you can simply put in that plug that will identify, and that's not essential, but that will identify the nozzle that you have on the front of it. So when you're just looking down on top of it, you can tell what you have. Now, most of my system, they didn't bother putting that in because I just simply know that every spray head is 2 gallons per minute. But it's a handy feature if you have a system that has different gallons per minute for different circuits. Now, about the spray angle and on the par circle adjustment, that's a very, very interesting setup. It's very, very simple too. It doesn't require dismantling of the head as the Hunter does and things like that. It has what's called a left stop. The system, you'll hear it clicking like a clock if I turn it clockwise, but when I back it up anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, it comes to a stop. That stop, you'll notice right now, I have it set right now. It happens to be on the S on PRS. It has a slip clutch. I can turn that, backing it any number of degrees that I wish. I can turn that fully around in any direction. I should say any number of degrees, as long as I maintain that left stop position. In other words, I always turn it against the left side, never force it to the right side. So I can set my left stop in whatever stop position I wish after I have this screwed down into the ground. So if I want to align this along one of my, my hedge lines or maybe my property boundary line or whatever, I can set the left stop by just simply backing that off until the spray pattern heads down in that direction. Now I want to set how many degrees it spins before it comes to a stop on the other side, on the right side. That's simply adjusted by the screw that's directly opposite the spray nozzle, and you'll see it's a plus and a minus. These come factory set up for 180 degree regulation. So in other words, once you basically, it's to assist contractors who are normally putting these along property boundary lines. So they just simply plop it in place, set the left stop setting, and they go. They're done in seconds. If you wish to have it set up so that it goes maybe at the corner, like I have one set at the corner of my deck, I can have it set so it goes along the deck on one side and then spins around. Basically, it does 270 degrees and then it goes back again. So that you just simply adjust that by using your screwdriver in that set position, which is directly opposite your nozzle, adjusting it plus or minus. And I think that's all there is to it. As far as putting these in, it's simplicity itself. It's a 3/4 inch iron pipe thread, and it just simply threads down without any sealants or anything like that directly onto the fitting beneath the earth. This happens to be the standard. This happens to be a standard 4-inch head. What that means is that this head will pop up 4 inches above the ground line. It's not the length of this device, it's how far it pops up above the ground line. And 4 inches happens to be industry standard for a standard lawn. Now they have longer ones for hay fields and things like that where your grass height is taller. But that's all there is to it. It's an extremely good system. They've got, if you notice here, there's a white line that goes around. That is a very, very tall gasket, and that's a gasket that wipes that shaft, that head, and prevents water from leaking out from the sides. Once that is in there, it's in there. That does not deteriorate. Other brands have got smaller gaskets, O-ring style things that have to be replaced on occasion, which means that this has to be unscrewed, a new one put in. It's a messy job. You've got mud and dirt all around you. This is a very, very simple, foolproof system. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell all your friends about us. Benny says hi. God bless.